and I'm going to bring you off air. Jim, you have anything else, any questions or anything before we start the program?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think we just roll right in.
All right, awesome. Cool. There you go. See you later.
We got rid of Jim.
Do you see his glasses? What a nerd. Oh, we lost him. Look, he walked off the air.
He's done with us.
We're out of here. All right, I got to find this one video because I have a video that Amy, I wanted to talk about. Yep, there he is. Mm-hmm. Pride and joy. You ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Now for something special. The unit is self-contained with its own saddler, farrier, wheelwright, and so on. It's a rigorous training dished out who know all there is to know about horses, and it brings results.
We take you behind the scenes now to show just some of the interesting aspects of this training.
Is that me? Oh, yeah. Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine, the #1 podcast to create sounder horses from the ground up. Mike Stine is a registered journeyman farrier with an APF 1 accreditation. On this week's show, we're going to talk to, from jhforge.com, we're going to talk to Jim Hurlburt, professional knife maker and retired farrier of 30 years or so. And over to my far right side is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good, Travis. How are you doing today?
I'm well. We lost power up here in the studio this weekend, so it's a couple of the buttons weren't pressed. My normal setup is kind of like I'm pulling my hair out. Whatever little hair I have left, I'm pulling it out right now.
You look good bald head.
Well, I should just shave it down, and I could be a cue ball.
That's right.
And save $15 every 3 months when I get my hair cut.
They don't give you a discount for not having as much.
No, it's always the same price, no matter if you got a full long head of hair or just those little sprigs and stuff that I've got going on. So I've got an exciting news event for you, Mike.
You do?
Yes, I do. Why does this keep switching off on me? There we go.
He doesn't want to talk to you.
I know. My wife has been, as you know, she's training with Diego. Everyone's like, oh, you talk about your wife, and you talk about Diego, and you talk about all these different things.
Right.
But yet, we have never seen your wife, Travis. We have never seen Diego. I mean, I think you're just making this whole story up.
You could be.
Because, I mean, technically, I've been telling these stories for the last 3 years or so, and no one's ever heard and no one's ever seen any of these things. I've shown pictures, like of the saddle. I've shown pictures of...
Yeah, but you can get those off the internet.
That's easy to get off the internet.
Talking about that, you can get videos off the internet, too.
Well, this video I'm going to play for you right now. Let me turn this up. And don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video over on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe over there as well. That is Equine Dynamics Mike Stine. And you can see this in real time as we're talking about it here on the air. So let me share my screen.
Every time I see you.
So here we go. This is the video I want to share. All right, here we go. So what we're looking at here, Mike, describe what we're looking at here.
There's a covered arena in the background.
Covered arena.
And looks like there's some jump standards over in the corner.
Mm-hmm. And it's an outside arena, and it's a woman on a horse.
A woman on a horse.
So
that you could have gotten off the internet.
No, this is actually my wife riding Diego with Brett Ingram as the trainer. Now, I'm going to set up the video here. She was trying to get the horse to do a trot or gallop or something. I don't know the terminology of what she was trying to do, but to do it in rhythm time over cavalettis. You know what cavalettis are, right?
Right. What's cavaletti?
The little wooden sticks that they throw on the ground. That's all.
Okay, yeah.
So, see, I knew something that Mike didn't know, or he's just making fun of me. So
I would never.
I know. So here we go. This is going to be my wife riding over cavalettis in rhythm for the first time. And let me play this video so we can see it. You ready? Here we go.
Yes.
Now, keep in mind, this is like try number 30. So she has spent all day to get this horse to do this. And this is the end result of what happened on try number 30. 1, 2, 3.
See how beautiful that was?
See how beautiful that was?
Beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Good. Do it one more time.
And she comes back around.
Yeah, nice transition. Feel that canter? That's your canter. Sit tall, belly button up. There you go. Yes.
And
yes. Beautiful. Yes.
See?
Now keep that trot just like that. Feel the difference? Yes. See, there he's carrying the wither.
So that was Diego. doing an actual live here on the air. Well, not live. Actually, it was recorded.
Yeah, he's getting stronger in that back end. I'm kind of liking that pretty good.
Are you really?
Yes.
So now you don't really get to see Diego move that much other than walking in and out of the barn.
I get to see him occasionally. It depends on work schedule and what all's going on, and if I can take a look out at the arena.
So you just saw Diego out there on the arena. Were you watching? You weren't watching her actually ride. You were watching the horse's movement. I'm just assuming that.
Let's say that. Yeah.
Okay. And how did the movement and everything of the horse look as far as I saw a little something there, or I could tweak that, or I can fix that, or
there's always something to tweak. And every time you do a horse, you're tweaking something a little bit.
But as far as what you saw there in the video, how did it look on your professional level? As far as
from where we were a year ago, I'm very pleased.
Are you? So we're happy?
Yes, we are.
$2 million for that horse now. $2 million.
That's right.
It's going up for sale right now.
You'll sell him for that. Don't not tell your wife he'll be gone one day, right?
Where's Diego? And why do we have this brand new car and this brand new boat and this brand
Well,
new...
you went and bought a brand new truck already. Somebody like you, the money you got, it doesn't matter.
I know, exactly right. All right, guys, stick around. When we come back, we're going to talk to professional knife maker and retired farrier of over 30 years, Jim Hurlburt. And we're going to discuss about all the different knives and stuff that he's been making over the last several years or so. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back. Boop. There we are.
There he is.
Were you able to see the video that was playing, Jim?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Everything worked good.
Yeah, that horse is shot on the back end, but not the front. He was really extremely uphill when he was a little younger, and he was really trying to press those pasterns in the ground on the back end.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. If you have a question for Mike Stine, the way you get those questions in is to go to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page says contact us. Fill out that little form there. Make sure you put a return address, a physical address, and we'll send you out some magnets, some stickers and stuff just for being a part of the show, and we appreciate you. And you can also check us out over on YouTube. That's Equine Dynamics over on YouTube as well. And now, joining us here in the studio, from jhforge.com, this is Jim Hurlburt, a professional knife maker and a retired farrier of over 30 years. Jim, welcome to the show.
Hello, how about you guys today?
Doing well. Now, when you say a professional knife maker, is there an actual title for a knife maker? Like a professional horseshoer is called a farrier. Is there a title for knife maker? Like medieval wields of steel, that's what I think. You go to those Renaissance festivals and everyone's swinging a knife or a sword around.
I wonder if Artificer would be one to be because that's somebody that works with steel.
Okay, Artificer.
He's hard to say words.
You got to keep the word simple for me.
That's
Jim.
right.
Let's make a knife maker for Mike's sake.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us how you got into the business and why you got out of being a farrier, because farrier to knife, I guess, is a transition in itself. I guess we have had people on the show that's gone from farrier to creating their own style of shoes and clogs and whatnot. So I guess I never thought there would be a need for a knife, but you make other like kitchen knives and butcher knives and all that stuff. So tell us how you got started.
Well, after shoeing horses for probably 20 years, or no, maybe not, maybe less than that, maybe 15 years or so. I
was saying, you've been making knives as long as
Every time
I've
you pick
known
up a
you.
horse's foot, there's always mud, dirt, shit in the bottom of it, and you want to clean it out. So then that requires you to have two tools, or you use the backside of your knife, and sometimes you get frustrated and you turn it around and use the sharp side because you're trying to get the stuff out, which then dulls your knife. So I decided that, well, we can do something better than that. Let's make a knife with a hoof pick built into the backside of it right there.
And you're showing it here on the and Jim, you do have a farrier's hand, by the way. If you hold that up, I think you and Mike have the same hands there. So I can tell you are a man of your word as far as being a farrier for years. And so, and I think of horse knives and horse picks and stuff as just a simple tool. It's like the common utensils that you have in your drawer at home. Like, I just need a regular house fork for my salad that day. What makes your knives stand out more than just buying the $3 or $4 one that's off the shelf?
A lot.
Well, there's several different things. There's the angle in which the knife is made here. There's the handle, so you can put your thumb into the crotch of the handle.
Yeah, look at that.
You have more control.
It's ergonomic.
of it. Yeah, ergonomics.
Ergonomics. There it is. Another big word.
Yeah, it really saves your wrist a lot.
Now, Mike, do you have any of his knives?
Yes, I do.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
Do you use them all the time?
I'll use them every day.
Do you? So how did you get into just going, okay, I'm going to make knives? Do you have your own like forge? Do you have your own, the anvil and, the whacking the thing with the mallet and everything?
Everything.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah.
Now, where are you located, Jim?
I'm actually in Paulette, Vermont right now, which is 19 degrees at this moment.
Yeah. We had 29 degrees this morning here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, I feel for you.
Now, did you come up with the design? I'm assuming you came up with the designs all yourself. Now,
Yes.
What was your inspiration for the designs?
Well, first of all was the hoof pick. And so I wanted a knife with a hoof pick on the back side of it. And then this particular one is called the deep belly. That was the very first one that I had made. And the funny part about it is that a friend of my father's was a machinist. So he made me a press to press this. Well, I had a little different style of knife that I wanted, but he just made this press with this in it, this bend to it. And so the funny part is, though, it was like perfect. Out of just luck, it was like perfect. So I sold a lot of that style knife through the years. Mm-hmm. And as it progressed, I'm starting to sell. Which, if you look at the knife, this is the deep belly, and here's the shorty. Has the same bend to it, but the blade is closer to your wrist, which is less fatiguing on your body.
Now, with that knife, you said it does have a pick on it, and I'm used to seeing those horse knives that my wife uses. That's got that big triangle trowel, cheap metal, and I think on the back side it might have a brush or something on it to kind of brush all the debris out. I don't see any brushes on yours. How come you didn't incorporate that style on those knives there?
Well, probably because the farrier's the first tool he grabs out of his apron to do the horse is the knife. And it's nice just to be able to pick it out. And a lot of times guys will have a brush to the side just to brush them out if they're that dirty or muddy.
Mike, you were going to say something?
Yeah, it's quick. And when you're working on a foot, like checking out white line areas and all that, you can just flip it and go. Pull it down through the white line, make sure you don't got any garbage pulling out of there.
Now, I am a simpleton, and
Yes, you are.
I'm thinking that Jim's knife, if he's got the pick and everything on one side, I would want to flip it around. I might be dating myself, but I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, they used to have, for typewriters, they used to have an eraser, like a pen that had an eraser on the tip, and then it had the brush on the other side. The old school hammer typewriters. Do you remember that, guys?
They didn't have those yet when I was in school. They haven't been invented yet.
But I would think that and I'm not knocking your design. I'm sure your design is flawless, but I would think myself, I would staple a bristle or something on the back. So when I pick, I can just flip around and go out like that. Jim,
that's your next knife design.
am I wrong for doing it? I know you said that's usually on the side, and maybe your design is just not. I don't want that on mine. That's for other people to have on theirs.
Let me design the knives.
Okay. Exactly. Yeah.
Travis is a good idea, man. Whether they're good ideas or not, that's a different thing.
I understand. Jim, I understand that, let me design the knives and let me tell you something. And you can say kid in there. You can throw kid in there. You can, look, radio guy.
That's it. So some guys actually use the back end of the knife when they're hot shoeing to press the one side of the shoe into the foot.
Okay, so
some of them want me to put a metal tip on the end here, so they're not burning the wood. They're actually using the metal tip to burn it. But I haven't got there yet.
So the answer to my question from Jim is they want something harder on the back of it. They don't need the brush at that point in the stage of picking the shoe.
Let's just say you were the first one to ask for a brush.
Have I really?
I listen to all my customers about requests. Like there's one here I can show you here in a minute that I listened to and it made total sense to me, so I incorporated it into my knife. Just like the shorty or the slim grip handle. So you can see the two different size handles here.
Yes.
There's a inch wide, and this one right here is 3/4 inch wide. Well, I had a bunch of gals tell me that this handle is too big for their hand. So I thought, well, why not make a slim grip?
Okay.
And they love it. It's perfect.
And your idea, Travis, is ridiculous. If I'm the only one,
but you got to think about how many would you sell if you had the brush in the backside, or how many would you not? And that's another knife, and it's another thing you have to design.
Yeah.
Another thing is like the little hoof pick you got with the little brush.
Yeah, the little cheap little $4 one. It's got a plastic handle on it. I think it looks like it's been chewed by a dog. It's been stepped on somebody.
If I'm using a brush, that brush is too slow.
Oh, is it?
No, if I get me a good hardware store metal brush with a little bit longer sweep to it, I can go through it a lot quicker.
All right, so we're going to take a quick little break, and we're going to dive into Jim's actual inventory of all the different stuff he has and what he's got going on presently. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back.
Can I run out to the truck quick and grab some more knives?
Go ahead. Yeah. Grab as many as you can. Don't drop them. One of your clocks is off by 5 minutes there, Jim, by the way.
We're going to have to talk to him about that when he gets back.
Yeah, I won't.
We need to coordinate the time on our watches.
We're either ahead of schedule or way behind. Oh, he fell over.
All right.
We need to coordinate the time on our watches.
You do?
Yeah.
You got a clock behind you that's 5 minutes fast and one that's 4 minutes slow.
Oh, easy. They're wind-up clocks. Chris, if you were as old as they are, you'd be on the same time.
I'm sure. When my mom passed away, I inherited her grandfather clock. Now my dad lives with us and stuff, and his job is to go out there, and we don't put the chime on, so he just winds the one thing that goes up, just to keep the time. And he always asks me, "What time is it?" And I look at the microwave. I'm like, it's 9:22, and he goes, "Right on time." That's his that's his task for the day, making sure the grandfather clock is on a perfect time.
He doesn't give you it's a quarter till 10 after or anything like that.
No.
Oh yeah.
But he hates that chime. It keeps him up at night.
Just those for the next segment or not?
No. We're fine. We're fine. Mike says he doesn't like it, but I mean, that's
every clock I got's on a different time anyway. And they're digital.
Well, you got time zones in your house.
Well, yeah.
This is the breakfast time zone. This is the lunch time zone.
Well, I don't know how to set the one in the truck. When you change batteries, you get whatever time you get. Which,
12.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah,
that's right.
It is.
That's why I've gone to morning stop or afternoon stop.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Make sure for every podcast we do, we have a matching video over on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe over there as well. And Mike Stine, your Facebook page is up and going now that you've rebuilt the business section. And I see you still punch a bunch of articles up there, and they're really interesting to read. You were showing a whole bunch of pictures and stuff from the summit.
Right.
When you went to the summit over there. So if you want to check.
Jim was at the summit.
And if you want to see those pictures over on Facebook, search Equine Dynamics Mike Stine. And over to my far right side is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? How are you, Jim?
And joining us here in the studio, we have Jim Hurlburt, a professional knife maker and keeper of time. In the background there, you can see a couple clocks are off.
Remember Wild Kingdom? We'll be back with a new Jim.
Mutual of Omaha.
Yeah. They used to get Jim run over by elephants and stuff. And then he's always had a Jim.
So we have Jim Hurlburt, owner of jhforge.com, and you're a knife creator. And so where do you get the steel from your knives? And are you finding it hard now with, I don't want to get into politics, but, trades and stuff, they're always talking about steel and all that's very expensive now. Where are you getting your supplies as far as how do you forge your knives and where are you getting the material from? That and the wood and what your handles are made out of.
Well, the steel, luckily for me, has been relatively available for me. It comes out of Pennsylvania. I'm not sure where in Pennsylvania it comes from, but I get it from Pennsylvania. The knife handle material, luckily I have a big stockpile, but my two suppliers that I had, one guy retired. Don't blame him. Couldn't find anybody to buy the mill. So he retired. So he dried up. And then there was a guy down the street from him. They just shut down for unknown reasons. So I have a new spot. Hopefully that'll last me. But I used to get some really pretty stuff. Like this one right here is bird's eye maple on it. I mean, all different kinds. Black walnut handles, another one. But yeah, hopefully I can still find suppliers for wood, because sometimes it gets a little hard.
Now, being you're a homeowner. We're all homeowners here. You've always had that one paintbrush that was your grandfather's paintbrush and was your dad's paintbrush. And for whatever reason, it just hung around. And there was the one paintbrush that sticks in my mind. I don't know if they're still in business anymore just because of the corporation world. It was called Baker, Baker brush, Baker brushes. And the bristles, back to brushes and stuff, the bristles will actually wear down from rubbing on the walls for so many years of use. But those handles were always solid. They never split, they never splintered, they never chipped or anything like that. So when you bought a $30 Baker brush, you knew that was going to be the last, 2-inch or whatever angled sash brush that you were going to buy. With your handles, are you kind of leaning in that same sense as far as like quality of those handles? This will be the last pick knife or hoof knife that you would ever buy?
Yeah, I used to use wood that came from like Africa and South America and stuff. And one time I was cutting some and it was like burning my nose. And a friend of mine said, "That's not good for you." So I thought, you know what? Why not just make handles out of wood that comes from Vermont? So that's what I did. So yes, I do make some pretty handles. Sometimes they have more bird's eye, sometimes they don't. Tiger maple, whatnot like that. And people have asked me to replace the blade in the handle, but that can be a pain in the neck.
That was my next question.
And the rivets are hard to drill out.
That was my next question. I mean, what would wear out first, the handle or the blade? Now, I'm assuming that the blades are they somewhat easier to sharpen? Because Mike, do you sharpen your blades? Do you have
every day?
Do you really?
Just about, yeah. A little bit, yeah.
Do you have a rat tail file or something that sharpens them, or
don't use a file? No.
We
don't use metal files on them. No.
So what do you use to sharpen those horse picks or horse knives? Sorry.
Well, mainly a diamond file would work. A lot of guys will buff them to get them sharp with different types of rouges to get them really sharp. And then I do offer a sharpening service. People can ship the knives back to me, and I sharpen them and then ship them back. And I just covers my shipping, which is getting out of hand for shipping costs. But,
yeah.
A lot of guys do that.
Now, show us some of the knives. You've got a whole plethora of knives out in front of you there. So show them one at a time and describe how those knives came to be.
Okay, so the very first one was the deep belly, which is fairly long, nice handle. It does come in the slim grip handle, and I'll show you here a regular grip handle right here.
Oh yeah, that's a lot fatter. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and then as I kept revolving, I made a shorter knife, which I call a shorty, which is a lot shorter than the deep belly in blade length. And I found that the shorter blade, there's less fatigue on your wrists and elbow from pulling it through the foot, because when you're using this knife, you're only using the last half inch, 3/4 of an inch to cut the foot. So when you're way out here, it's a lever on your hand being way out here versus the shorty where your hand's right here. It is so much closer to your wrist, which is really nice.
That is.
I also make a loop knife, which is nice. I make one that's a little narrower as well. And this one right here always gets everybody. This is called the spud knife.
Is that for pulling out the eyes of potatoes?
Yes, potato peeler, yeah.
Well, the funny part is, though, when I had the deep belly, listen, if you hold it right here, see where the angle of the handle is, as with the spud knife, if I do the same thing, the angle is even higher. And what that just does, it gives you better wrist position when you're working on the horse's foot.
Now, do you have...
Makes sense?
Yeah, yes, it does. Yes, it makes absolute total sense, because I know using like a socket wrench or something like that, sometimes I wish I had a socket wrench that would bend just a little bit more to get that weird bolt or that weird...
Well, we can bend it.
Yes, you can. Break out that $300 hammer, that Thor hammer you got. So outside of the horse knives that you have created, Jim, what are the other types of knives and specialty items that you make?
Well, I make a measuring device, which I actually developed this through the ELPO organization. It's an Equine Lameness Prevention Organization. It's just a measuring device. Like if I put it on, let me put this right here. If I put this on 2 inches down here, It's 2 inches from this tip to this tip.
Now, what we're looking at here for the people listening to the show, it's two long, skinny triangles with a whole bunch of numbers running down both sides, and it's kind of like a speed square for horses.
Correct.
So
what's nice about it is that if this is 2 inches from here to here, if you flip it over, you can see that it's metric, and that would be 5 centimeters from here to here.
For our friends overseas.
Well, I've got one of your old one that's not metric.
Not metric. Well, you got to come up to times, Mike. Come on.
You know that's not happening.
So my question before you put that one away, Jim, is what do you actually use that for? Why would you need to have a 2-inch, measuring or something like that to?
Well, I have a nice leg here, and it's used for measuring the frog, length of the frog, which is really kind of hard to see here in the video. But
no, I can see it just fine.
Here, measure the center sulcus, and there's parameters that we use when we're doing horses' feet from these measurements to help balance the foot properly and keep it sound. Now,
Mike, you said you have one of those in your toolbox?
Yeah.
And I guess I'm assuming you use it all the time. It doesn't have
it's been used. You can't read any writing on it anymore, I don't think. And mine was pre-metric markings.
Before they created the metric system?
Before they created a metric system, yes.
That's pretty impressive, Mike.
Yeah.
So what about kitchenware? Because I'm looking at the website and I see all like these big hatchets and these big things that you see like from horror movies and stuff. Holy mackerel, look at that guy. That is hold on, because I'm somewhat of a chef. That is a carving knife.
No, prep knife.
Damn it. I was trying to show myself a little bit. So that's a prep knife. So tell us about how you got into that as well, the prep knives and the kitchenware knives.
Well, let's back up a little bit. After shoeing horses for 30 plus years, in that time, I actually had a couple back operations. And so I was making knives, farrier knives, and shoeing horses. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to last shoeing horses. And I'm going to get crabby and be one of those guys that
kind of like
takes it out on the horse, and which I don't
take it out on the horse. I take it out on the owner.
So, so I decided to branch out a little bit and say, I'm making all these farrier knives and I have junky kitchen knives. So why not make some kitchen knives too? So I had help from a couple chefs where I used to live. They helped me design them and do different things and help me with how to design a decent kitchen knife. So I just branched out from there, and I've been making all kinds of different kitchen knives, and I'm into making pocket knives now, even though they're not on my website yet, but I make some pretty cool pocket knives. Like, for instance, this one right here is a pretty nice it's called a slip joint pocket knife. And actually,
that's nice.
Kind of the back
that's
and the back
very
side,
nice.
Yeah. And then one of the chefs that helped me design kitchen knives, he had an oyster knife that kept breaking. So we designed a new style oyster knife that was a fixed blade knife, and it works really good for that. So I want to take it to the next level, and I made a folding oyster knife with the same.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick little break, and we're going to dive into more of the world of knives from Jim Hurlburt. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back.
Sounds like, Mike, you need a new divider.
Probably.
What's a divider?
The thing that you divide stuff
put it
with.
in metric form. This is
okay.
a divider here.
Oh, is that what it's called? Okay.
That may have it, but I can't remember. I've slept since then.
Mike's got the old wooden carpenter's measuring stick that was, wooden, and you folded it out and stuff. That's what Mike's got.
Actually, this did start out as wood.
Well, yeah. Now, can you? I know we're getting off topic here. Do you 3D print those, or is that something you have?
No, it's actually it's aluminum. I cut out with my water jet. I send it out, get black anodized, and then I take my laser and laser all the numbers on.
Nice. Okay.
I have another design that's not on my website, and I got to get it on there here in the next couple of days.
Okay.
We'll wait for the clocks there.
You like that clock, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. If you'd like Mike Stine to perform a clinic out at your location, or you would like the podcast to broadcast out at your location or event, the way you do that is go to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page says clinics. Fill out that little form. We'll pencil you in and schedule you for a meet and greet. We'll do a broadcast out there, or Mike can perform a clinic out at your location. And over to my far hand side is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm good, Travis. How are you?
Doing well. And joining us here in the studio, we from jhforge.com, Jim Hurlburt, professional knife maker, horse pick shoer, and knife sharpener extraordinaire. Jim, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. So tell us, you said you got another hoof knife that's coming out on the market that's not on your website yet. So tell us about your website. Actually, not yet. Tell us about the new knife that you got coming out, and also the oyster knife. Show us that one more time, because we kind of dove in and out a little bit as well.
Here's the oyster knife. Black walnut handle, and it's a locking blade, so it won't come back unless you decide.
And that would work for
metalwork pattern in the back of it. You know.
Oh yeah.
Now tell
Put
us
a little extra effort in it.
Tell us about the new knife that you got coming out.
Well, it's not that I've been out for a couple of years. Just I haven't had it on my website and haven't really pushed it a lot because it takes more steps to make it than my usual knives. But what it is that if you look at this knife right here, hopefully I can show you, it's in the handle level with the handles here and the blades level with the handle. This new knife is actually in the handle crooked or at a degree.
I see that, yes.
And the
You
reason
showed me
for
that one
that is
before.
that, and Mike can contest this, as you're working on a foot, like right here, this side right here, the knife is easy to control. But when you come around this side of the foot right here, you actually got to twist your wrist to get the blade to start cutting. So what this blade allows you to do is not have to twist your wrist as much, because it's already in the position that you want it to be, and it's easy to come around the side of the foot. Then some people say, well, but it's still, too steep here, but it's so much easier to roll your wrist back here than it is to try to twist your wrist and contort your body to make it cut on this side.
Yeah,
So
I
with
can
this
see that.
right here, I actually call it the best angle, because a friend of mine in Buffalo, New York, Ken Best, asked me about doing something like this. And so I said, yeah, let's play with it. So we played with several different angles, and we went back and forth with designs and stuff. And now we settled on that one. And so I call it the best angle shorty. And it only comes in the shorty style, because we found that when the deep belly, it's way too crazy. Now,
Weight would be a concern that I would have as far as how much the knife physically weighs. Because, when you're a boxer and you put on 2-ounce gloves and you go 3 or 4 rounds, those gloves starting to feel like 8-pound gloves. When you're carrying that knife around, what's the weight on those knives compared to the little cheap one that you buy in the store? Or do you know those?
This would probably weigh 6 ounces. But I have had people ask me to put what they call a full tang. So this is the tang right here. Go all the way through the whole handle, because they like a heavier knife, which makes the knife more expensive because I don't change the steel. This is all the same steel through. So that's a lot of steel that's more expensive to use for a full tang knife.
Now, believe it or not, Jim, you and I have a lot in common.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
More than you know. Mike not know.
I might not know this. I don't think I know this. I don't think I want to know.
My great-grandfather was a knife maker.
Yeah.
He made knives up in New York. There was a company called, you might have heard of them, called Case Knives.
Yeah.
That is my great-grandfather's knifing company. He made them. Yeah, he made those up in Albany, New York. And then he passed it over to my grandfather. And unfortunately, times are tough, like during the Depression. So I don't know what the great-great-great-great-grandfather. Times are tough during the Depression and everything. So he basically sold the name off to a corporation to produce those knives. So I am the sole, because my mom's maiden name is Case. So I'm the sole heir. I'm still waiting for my mom. The biggest joke was my mom was always like, I'm waiting for that check in the mail that I'm the sole heir of the Case Knife Company. So when you see Case Knives, that's actually my lineage on my mom's side as far as knives and stuff. So we do have a little bit in common. Mike, you didn't know that, did you?
I did not know that. That's news to me.
So tell us.
But Travis, are you waiting to be on the cutting edge? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I am waiting to be on the, and all the other puns that you could throw in there as well. So Jim, tell us, where do you see your knives going in the future? As far as are they in like the box retail stores? Or are they online only? Are they special design? Do you have like special requests like, hey, I've got a 50-year anniversary for my husband or wife that's a farrier. Can you design a special knife? You know, that type stuff. Like personalize them.
Yep. Well, I have dealers all over the States, Canada. I have them in Australia, in England. It's amazing where they go. And then my website. And the website, I shipped stuff last summer to Kuwait, of all places. It's like, wow.
They've got horses that need their feet done.
Everywhere.
Now, do you think the ones that went to Kuwait, where they go to military bases? Because there's a lot of places that I see. No, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of places that I see that download the podcast. And I'm just going, well, who there has horses? The only thing I can think of is if there's a military base somewhere around there and they want a little taste of home. And, you know, you would think in Kuwait, maybe a military base would have a horse or two on the base itself, you know, for, you know, getting up into the mountains, which is easier than a motorcycle or Jeep or something like that. You would think that military bases over there would have horses to where they would order a knife from you.
Yeah, you know, I'm not really sure. You get an order on the internet. Oh, it's going to Kuwait. That's cool.
See you later.
Yeah. In my shop, I have a big world map, and I put pins where I think it's really cool where they go. Like I have all my dealers marked in red, but then I have black pins for just individual people.
You don't have pin in Marshall, North Carolina, do you?
No, no.
You're supposed to.
Marshall.
Actually, I have one. NC Tool, you know, is a dealer. I have their pin up there.
Okay.
So tell our listeners everything as far as where can they find you? What's, you know, how can they get your knives and how can they get a hold of you?
Best way is just go to my website, jhforge.com. And all the information is there that you need to get a hold of me. You can call me, you can email me.
That doesn't mean he'll give you an answer back, but you can send a message to him all day.
Mike, did you want to ask Jim anything else before we go?
No, I have appreciated his designs. I've always stuck with that short blade.
Yeah, the shorty.
The shorty, because of the fact that it's so much easier on your wrist. And when you've done a lot of horses over a lot of years, parts wear out. And there's a huge difference in hoof knives. I mean, you want to do good work, you got to have good tools. That's just all there is to it.
Now, do you have a certain knife that you like? Like I use this knife all the time because Jim was showing all the different angles and all the different ones. You know, I would think that, you know, you have a toolbox. When you're a fisherman, you have a toolbox with all your different lures. You can tell that fisherman's not a good fisherman because he doesn't know what he needs.
The right hand shorty I use constantly. I carry a left hand, a right hand, and that little frog detailing knife in my apron. I carry an apron with like four pockets on it. I got a little pick that I can probe any white line stuff that's going deep or anything like that, because you know how white line is in this part of the world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. But that right hand shorty, that's a go-to every time I grab a knife.
All right, guys, we're going to let you get back to enjoying your ponies. Make sure you follow Mike Stine over on YouTube. The way you do that is search Equine Dynamics Mike Stine over on YouTube. If you have any questions for Mike Stine, you can go over to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page says contact us. Make sure you put a return address in there as well, and we'll send you out a physical address, and we'll send you out some magnets, some stickers, some keychains if we have any keychains left over from the summit, and just for being a part of the show. We'd like to thank Jim Hurlburt from jhforge.com for joining us this week on the show.
Travis, you were asking me if I made special knives for people, different things and I do. I have a laser, and I can laser anything on the handles and stuff, people's names and whatnot like that. And if you really want to be creative, I actually have this pocket knife here.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, nice.
So if you need something really special for your loved one, there again, it has the nice firework in the backside.
And it's a horse's leg with a knife that folds up in it. Very nice. Very nice. Jim, we appreciate you joining us this week on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate being on here. It was fun.
On behalf of Mike Stine over there.
Thank you, Jim. It's always good catching up with you, and hope you enjoyed it.
My name is Travis saying see you next week.
are in the corral. All of your work is done. Just close your eyes and dream, little pal. Dream of someone.
Hi, Lucky.
Good night, Ned.
Hi, Dusty.
Good night, Ned.
Good night, Ned.